Imagine waking up tomorrow and everything costs more. Your groceries, your car, your phone, even the materials that keep America running, steel, aluminum, technology. Why? Because the US decided to fight fire with fire, to match tariffs with tariffs, to push back against unfair trade policies. But here's the real question. Will this strategy make America stronger, or will it backfire and leave the US more isolated than ever? On the surface, reciprocal tariffs make sense. For decades, the US has allowed foreign countries to impose higher tariffs on American goods while maintaining low tariffs on imports. This has led to a long-standing imbalance where US businesses face steeper barriers abroad while foreign competitors enjoy easier access to American markets. Take China, for example. Before the trade war, China had an average tariff rate of around 10% on US goods. Meanwhile, America's average tariff on Chinese goods, just 3%. That meant American products faced higher costs when entering the Chinese market, making it harder for US businesses to compete. The same goes for Europe. The EU taxes American cars at 10%, the US just 2.5%. This discrepancy means European automakers can sell their vehicles in America at lower relative costs, while American manufacturers struggle to penetrate European markets. The goal of reciprocal tariffs? Level the playing field. If China charges 25% on US cars, the US will charge 25% on theirs. If Europe taxes American goods higher, the US will match them. It's a direct response to decades of trade imbalances. It's meant to ensure that American producers aren't at a structural disadvantage. But here's the catch. Trade isn't just about fairness, it's about leverage. And in a global economy, leverage matters more than anything. Here's where things get complicated. If the US raises tariffs, other countries will retaliate. That's how trade wars work. And history has shown us that these retaliatory measures can have widespread economic consequences. Look at what happened with Trump's 2018 tariffs. The US slapped tariffs on steel and aluminum. China hit back with tariffs on soybeans, cars, and tech components. The European Union also responded with tariffs on American agricultural goods, bourbon, and motorcycles. The result? US exports plummeted. Farmers lost billions. Manufacturing costs soared, and industries that relied on global supply chains, like the auto sector, took a major hit. And history might repeat itself. If Washington enforces reciprocal tariffs across the board, expect the same reaction. Higher tariffs on American exports, more supply chain disruptions, higher prices for American businesses and consumers. And that's just the beginning. Beyond direct economic retaliation, there's also the risk of market shifts. If American goods become too expensive due to retaliatory tariffs, foreign buyers will look elsewhere. US farmers who rely on exports, they'll lose business. US manufacturers who sell overseas, they'll be forced to cut costs, possibly through layoffs. This isn't just a theoretical risk, it's a reality that's already played out in past trade conflicts. The biggest risk? Economic isolation. For decades, America built global trade networks. It signed free trade agreements. It positioned itself as the world's economic hub, fostering relationships with allies and competitors alike. But reciprocal tariffs threaten to undo that. If trading partners see America as unreliable, they'll look elsewhere. And they already are. China is expanding trade with Latin America, securing agricultural and industrial deals that once went to American companies. The EU is strengthening ties with Asian markets, reducing dependence on American exports. Even Canada and Mexico are negotiating new trade pacts. Without the US, the more America isolates itself, the less influence it has. And that's dangerous. Global trade isn't just about money, it's about power. Nations with strong trade relationships hold more sway in diplomatic affairs. They have greater access to resources. They can dictate economic norms. If America retreats from these relationships, it risks losing its ability to shape global trade policies in its favor. And that's not all. Economic isolation can lead to stagnation. When businesses lose access to foreign markets, they have fewer opportunities for growth. Innovation slows, investment declines, and the economy as a whole suffers. And let's talk about prices. Everyday Americans are already feeling the squeeze from inflation. Add reciprocal tariffs, Things get worse. Electronics, clothing, automobiles. Everything the U.S. imports will cost more. When tariffs drive up import costs, those expenses get passed down to consumers. A television that cost $500? Now it's $600. A refrigerator priced at $1,000? Now it's $1,200. And it's not just consumer goods. Businesses that rely on foreign materials, construction, manufacturing, energy, will pay more too. Think about the construction industry. If steel and aluminum prices rise due to tariffs, building costs increase. That means higher home prices, more expensive infrastructure projects, and fewer affordable housing options. Or take the auto industry. If parts from Europe or Asia become more expensive, car prices skyrocket. A new sedan that once cost $25,000, now it's $30,000. And it's not just new cars. Repairing existing vehicles gets costlier too. The result? Higher costs, slower economic growth, more financial pain for working Americans. And once these costs rise, they rarely go back down. So what's the alternative? Instead of retaliatory tariffs, Washington needs smarter trade policies. Investing in domestic production without forcing companies to cut ties with global markets. Instead of relying solely on tariffs, the government can provide targeted subsidies for key industries, incentivizing businesses to manufacture domestically while still remaining competitive internationally. Negotiating better trade deals without escalating conflicts. That means working with allies to create fairer agreements rather than resorting to trade wars that ultimately hurt all sides. And most importantly, strengthening economic alliances instead of breaking them apart. The U.S. has long benefited from global partnerships, and maintaining these relationships is key to long-term economic success. Because the truth is, America's power isn't just in its economy, it's in its ability to lead the world. And leadership requires cooperation, strategy, and long-term thinking. But if the U.S. isolates itself, if it pushes partners away, that leadership won't last forever. The global economy will move forward, with or without America. And the biggest question is, will Washington recognize this before it's too late? America's future in global trade isn't just about tariffs, it's about strategy, about leadership, about making sure the U.S. stays competitive without shutting itself off from the world. So what do you think? Should Washington double down on reciprocal tariffs, or is there a smarter way forward? Drop a comment below. We want to hear your thoughts. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because understanding the future of trade means understanding our future. See you in the next one.